Have you ever been told you just need to network and then feel your entire body just tense up? I've worked with hundreds of coaches, therapists, and heart-led entrepreneurs who struggle with this exact issue. And today I'm going to tell you why just network more is terrible advice for a lot of people, what to do instead, and why knowing the right networking strategies still won't help if you have a deeper block. Welcome back. I'm Jenny Hayes, your Beyond Mindset mentor, and today we're tackling one of the most common pieces of advice given to coaches and entrepreneurs. Network, network, network. I give this advice myself. You have to network. But for some people, this advice is generally helpful. A lot of you, it's causing more harm than good. And let's talk about why and what you should do instead. Here's what you've probably been told 1,000 times. You need to just get out there and network. Go to events, meet people, build relationships. Your network is your net worth. And if you're someone who generally enjoys meeting new people, striking up conversations with strangers, and being in rooms full of people, great. This advice works well for you. It's easy. Go forth, network. But if you're someone who gets anxious in social situations, finds small talk exhausting, needs significant recovery time after being around people, feels like you're performing when you're networking, would rather literally do anything else than go to a networking event, if you know you have social anxiety, you're neurodivergent, deeply introverted, just network isn't necessarily helpful advice. In fact, it can be harmful. Because when you force yourself to go to these events, you spend the whole time feeling uncomfortable, awkward, and like you're doing it wrong. You compare yourself to the extroverts in the room who seem to do it effortlessly. They connect with everyone, and you feel inadequate. You leave feeling drained and pretty much like a failure. Or you just don't go, and then you beat yourself up for it. You tell yourself you're lazy, or you're self-sabotaging, or you're not committed enough to your business. Neither of these options is serving you or your business. The problem isn't that networking doesn't work. In fact, it does. Networking is the fastest way to fill your business, hands down. The problem is traditional networking, the kind where you go to an event, cold, make small talk with strangers, try to work the room. It's only one approach to building connections, and it's not the right approach for everyone. Let me be really clear about something. You do need to build relationships to grow your business. 100%, absolutely. But the way you build those relationships needs to match who you are, your energy, and your strengths. Forcing an introvert or someone with social anxiety to just network more at an in-person events is like trying to force a fish to climb a tree and then telling it it's lazy when it can't do it. You're not broken. You're not failing in networking. You're just being told to do it in a way that doesn't work for you. And here's the beautiful thing. There are so many other ways to build relationships and connect with potential clients and referral sources that don't involve traditional networking events. You can build your business without ever setting foot in a networking event if that's not your thing. You just need to find the strategies that work for you. So let's talk about what networking can look like if traditional events aren't your thing. Number one, one-on-one connections. Instead of going to big events, focus on one-on-one coffee chats, video calls. Reach out to people individually. Build deeper relationships with fewer people. This is actually often more effective. Quality over quantity. Number two, online communities. Join these online communities, Facebook groups, forums, where your ideal clients or referral partners hang out. Engage at your own pace, from the comfort of your own space. You can think before you type. You don't have to perform or make small talk. Now, there are a couple caveats to this one. Number one, don't be spammy and don't go in somebody else's group and start promoting yourself. Instead, you go in and you just share your expertise. Love on people. They will seek you out. Second caveat, this takes a long time. This is not going to get you clients in 1 or 2 months. There are some people that occasionally will do that, but the reality is you have to work a lot longer to make this format work. Number 3, content as connection. This is where you create content like this, videos, blogs, social media posts. It attracts people to you, letting your content do the networking for you so that people will reach out because they resonate with you and what you're saying. This builds connection without you having to initiate it. But again, you need to be really careful of this one. You need a cohesive strategy if this is your only networking plan, and you must realize that it will take a minimum of 6 months to a year before you can expect to see any kind of a foothold. Fourth, strategic partnerships. Instead of trying to meet hundreds of people, identify 5 to 10 strategic partners or referral sources and build real relationships with them. Go deep, not wide. This is similar to that one-on-one coffee one, because what we're doing now is instead of building one-on-one coffees with potential clients, we are building that relationship with somebody who knows our ideal client. So if you are a diet expert, you may want to hook up with someone who does personal training in a gym. If you work with mindset for entrepreneurs, you may want to work with someone who does strategy for entrepreneurs. There's a lot of ways to mix it, and it's a matter of thinking about who else your clients see, and that's what this piece is. Number 5, email or DM. Now, some of the relationships that I've built have been entirely through emails or DMs that have blossomed into video. We've never met in person. We've never been on a call, like a regular phone call, but we built genuine, mutually beneficial relationships through written communication that then blossomed into a natural friendship. Again, long game. And again, you're reaching out to either and potential clients as well as potential referral sources. I'll tell you, the referral sources are much more powerful, but fewer and further between, because you're going to meet a lot of people who could refer before you meet the 2 or 3 that can eventually fill your caseload. 6, virtual events. If you don't want to attend events in person, but you're looking to meet a whole lot of people in a short amount of time, look for the virtual summits, the webinars, online conferences. Again, we take this back to the service mindset of how can I help you? 7, asynchronous networking. So you can join communities and platforms where the networking is happening, but it's not happening at the same time, meaning you can do it asynchronously. You can come in when you have energy and reach out and talk to people. And then when they have energy and time, they reach back out and talk to you. This means you can respond when you're ready, step away when you need to recharge. And this is just the start of different ways you can network. The point is, there are endless ways to build relationships that don't involve the traditional get dressed up in your casual business attire, drive across down to the convention center, listen to a whole bunch of people that you don't really know and don't want to know and feel uncomfortable. You can find a way that fits for you. You get to choose what works for you, as long as you have a strategy to it. And here's the thing that people don't talk about with networking. Even if you can force yourself, to go to those events every week. It's possible. You can physically do it. You're capable. You have the transportation, the means, the physical ability to get there. But if it drains you so much you don't have energy for the actual work of serving your clients, creating content, running your business, it's not going to be sustainable. So basically, you're trading networking for running your business. So we want you to choose something that is relationship building, that energizes you, or at least doesn't completely drain you. If one-on-one coffee chats light you up, do that. Writing content, connecting with people online feels natural, do that. It just takes a little longer. If you genuinely enjoy traditional networking events, that's awesome. Jump in your car, jump on the bus, go over there and do it. But if something consistently drains you and makes you want to hide, that is your body telling you it's not the right approach. Listen to that. Honor that. Find a different way. Because building a sustainable business means working with your energy and your personality, not against it. But now here's where I really have to be honest with you. Some of you are listening to this and feeling relieved. Oh, thank goodness, I don't have to go to that networking event. I can just do one-on-ones or create content. But you still don't do it. Or everything sounds horrible still. You don't reach out for those one-on-one connections. You don't create the content. You don't join the online communities. Let me tell you about patterns I see. So there was a client who I had who understood she could network online, and she knew she needed to build those strategic partnerships and do one-on-one coffee chats, and that she could do all of that instead of going to the big events. She didn't like the big events. She knew all of these alternative strategies and had picked the ones she thought were best for her. But she still didn't do them because resistance wasn't about the format of networking. So it wasn't just that she had social anxiety and needed a safe way to do it. It was about something a lot deeper. She had a childhood wound. She didn't even know what it was. Every time she thought about reaching out to someone, she felt like she was bothering them. And once we did a session and addressed that wound, we reframed the networking as building the referral team to help other professionals. She reached out, secured 3 referrals that week. Another client who knew she could create content and let people come to her instead of cold networking and had the time to do it. She wasn't in a rush. She had perfectionism that kept her from hitting publish. She'd write the post. She wouldn't share him. She had this invisible fence around her visibility. She could see what she needed to do, but her body wouldn't let her do it. Once we took a session, processed that freeze response, she started posting and went from invisible to attracting clients through her content right away. And then I had another coach that I could think of who knew that she should join this online community and engage. We had talked about it. She understood. She knew that it was going to be a lot less draining than the in-person events. There was a piece of her that was very aligned with it. But there was another piece that kept asking, who am I to comment on other people's posts? I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert. I've been doing this for 20 years, but I'm not an expert. Once we addressed that block and she realized that I am an expert. I have been doing this 20 years. I actually went to school for it in her case. Her visibility increased without ever attending a single networking event because she was able to be present in the event that she chose. These alternative strategies all work, but only if you can implement them. If you can't, it's not because networking is the problem. I used to blame it too. I hated when they would say, make a list of 50 people you know and reach out to them. That still doesn't align with who I am. I still don't do that, but I'm doing this. And I do one-on-one coffees, and I do virtual networking events, and I reach out by DM. So I have found things that do work, but before I addressed the block, I didn't do any of it. And if you are being held back by a block, you won't either. Now here's your homework. I want you to go back and listen to those different alternative ways. And you can even put in there traditional networking. I want you to think about which three you would be most likely to be able to do. Maybe they actually even sound appealing to you. What sounds doable? Maybe enjoyable? Maybe it's reaching out for a one-on-one coffee chat, posting valuable content twice a week, joining an online community and genuinely engaging, setting up 3 strategic partner conversations per month, writing thoughtful comments on other people's posts in your industry. Whatever it is, I want you to write down those 3 approaches that sound like they could work for you. And then I want you to notice, do you feel excited to try them? Yay. But if you paused, or if you started thinking, yeah, these sound okay, but I can't do it, it's not about you. It's not about the networking. It's about the block. So if that is you, I do want to invite you to come to my 2-part training. It's free, from Stuck to Clients. Part 1, we're going to give you the strategy. You need to do this. This is how you do this. Here's some different things that you can do. Mix these things together, and we create this strategic plan. But part 2 is where the magic is. That's the missing piece, right? Because part 1, strategy, you can get strategy anywhere. I think I do it differently because I want to make sure it fits who you are, because it's huge, huge. I'll share my story during the event. But part 2 addresses what happens when you have the strategy and you're not doing it. It may be perfectionism, it could be imposter syndrome, it could be invisible fences, it could be something that you don't even know what it is, but you just can't do it. And we're going to look at that, and we're going to get you the information and the tools so that you can move forward. Because knowing there's alternatives is great, but it doesn't help at all if you still can't bring yourself to reach out, create that content, or show up. So I'll have the link in the description to sign up. I would really love it if you would subscribe for me and give me a like. Take just a moment to make a comment about which approach you're wanting to try. And then be honest. Is it something that you're like, yeah, I can do this? Or is there something inside going, I want to, but I'm not sure I can? Next week is going to be, it's going to be about why you don't need to be an influencer, but you also can't be a ghost. There is a middle ground that works. I will see you there.